Welcome back to the Sam and Cat Show. I'm Alex. Once again, was invited back and could not say no. I had to be here.
Yes.
Sam, what are we reading today for day 2023?
Day 23. Today we are. Yes, it's Christmas Eve tomorrow.
We're so close, guys.
Oh
We're so close.
Today, I know. Today is Meet My Father Christmas. We're getting so close.
Kat, do you have an idea as to what we're building?
I'm building Legos. What I'm building besides that, I have no idea. I can't tell you that I have yet to get an Ewok. And I think they have one listed on here. So I'm thinking it's an Ewok. Or I don't know what else it would be. We'll see.
I'm also hoping it's an Ewok.
So am I hoping it's an Ewok. If not, it's a bit of false advertising going there. I've been waiting for the Ewok since the 1st of December.
Because he's flying this one. So it could be this thing that he's flying. I don't think we have that yet.
Oh.
So here we go. Number 23. Right?
Correct.
Yeah.
22 was yesterday. Dun da da da! And yes, it is what he's driving. I can tell.
Ooh.
Oh!
The second to the last day, and I can start to tell what I'm gonna get. I've had pictures all along, and I haven't been looking.
I love it.
I've been not cheating. That's even cheating. So here I go with my build. That's the love.
Okay, and here I go with my story. So, meet Father Christmas. It was Christmas Eve, and little Miss Tiny was excited. And the more she thought about Christmas, the more excited she became. I know how she feels. Very, very excited. I wonder what Father Christmas is doing at this moment, she thought to herself. He might be polishing his sleigh. He might be feeding his reindeer. Or he might be wrapping presents. He might even be wrapping my present. Oh, I do wish I could visit him and see. Just then she heard somebody outside her mouse hole. That's right. Little Miss Tiny is so tiny. She lives in a mouse hole in the skirting board in the dining room in Home Farm. It was Mr. Daydream. I was on my way to see Father Christmas, he said. Would you like to come along on a Christmas holiday with me? Little Miss Tiny could not believe her luck. If it really was luck. Waiting outside was Mr. Daydream's magic bird. Mr. Daydream's enormous yellow magic bird. Enormous to you or I, but as big as the moon to little Miss Tiny. Mr. Daydream and little Miss Tiny climbed onto its back and off they flew to the North Pole. North, all the way to the North Pole. Look, there's a house with an upside-down roof, said little Miss Tiny as they flew on.
An upside-down roof?
Where are we, she asked. An upside-down roof. We're flying over Muddle Land, said Mr. Daydream. Would you like to have a look? Oh, yes, please, said little Miss Tiny. In Muddle Land, everything is in a muddle, and Christmas is no exception. In Muddle Land, they don't decorate their Christmas trees, they decorate their furniture. In Muddle Land, they don't have Christmas lunch, they have Christmas breakfast. And in Muddle Land, they don't hang Christmas stockings, they hang gloves over their fireplaces.
What do they put on their hands? Socks?
Everything's completely different.
The socks, yes. It's Muddle Land. Yeah. Oh. And then they were off again. And before long, they found themselves flying over Cleverland. Now, as you can well imagine, everyone in Cleverland is clever. Even the sheep are clever. So clever that, in fact, They celebrate Christmas. Little Miss Tiny and Little Miss Tiny and Mr. Daydream stopped off at many places on their way to the North Pole. In Loudland, they heard the loudest carol singers in the world. They were much too loud for Little Miss Tiny. And then they flew to Nonsense Land, where the snow was yellow.
We got a word for yellow snow here in Colorado.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not something you want.
No, that's what I was just thinking. Just one more stop before we get to the North Pole, announced Mr. Daydream finally. Where is that? Asked Little Miss Tiny. Cold Land. And it was. Cold, that is. Very, very, very cold. And in Cold Land, they had tea with Mr. Sneeze. Ah, tissue, sneezed Mr. Sneeze. Ah, tissue, sneezed Little Miss Tiny. Oh dear, said Mr. Daydream. I think you might have caught a cold. At last, they reached the North Pole. Little Miss Tiny couldn't wait to meet Father Christmas. But where was he? They landed beside a large chimney stack, standing all on its own. How odd, said Little Miss Tiny. And suddenly there was a rumbling sound and 2 big black boots appeared in the fireplace. I think I need to lose a bit of weight, echoed a voice from down the chimney. It was Father Christmas doing chimney practice with Mr. Christmas. And with a pop, Father Christmas squeezed out of the chimney, covered in soot. Then Mr. Christmas took Little Miss Tiny to feed Father Christmas's reindeer. Rudolph has a cold just like your one, said Mr. Christmas. Rare tissue, sneezed Rudolph. Bless you, said Little Miss Tiny. And best of all, they saw where all the presents are stored. And this one, said Mr. Christmas, picking up a very tiny parcel, is yours. Little Miss Tiny's face lit up with excitement. It may be small, said Mr. Christmas, but Father Christmas won't forget to deliver it tonight. And just then Father Christmas popped his head around the corner. He dusted off his suit and it was bright red again. He was ready for his busy night. Little Miss Tiny let out a small yawn. It was getting very late for a little person. So Little Miss Tiny and Mr. Daydream said goodbye to Father Christmas, Mr. Christmas, the reindeer and the elves, and climbed back on the enormous yellow bird. Little Miss Tiny could hardly keep her eyes open as they flew all the way home. On Christmas morning, Little Miss Tiny woke to find herself sitting in her armchair, in her mouse hole, in the skirting board, in the dining room in Home Farm. There, next to her tiny pine cone tree, was a parcel. Father Christmas had been. Oh gosh, she said to herself, did that Christmas holiday really happen? Maybe it was just a dream. But then...
I'm so excited.
Ah, tissue! She sneezed. The end. So it was real because she got the cold.
She brought it back with her.
She did. From the North Pole.
That was a good one.
So, Kat, that was quite a sweet one, wasn't it?
It is the thing that the Ewok drives. I know what 24 is.
That is wicked.
I'm so excited now.
I'll be so disappointed if I'm wrong. But I better not be wrong.
That is fantastic. Well done, you.
Tomorrow's Christmas Eve.
And you know, we know what it is. Tomorrow is Christmas Eve. 24th
Like I
Christmas
peeked
Eve.
in the Christmas presents.
But you
Or
didn't, did you?
We'll see
Oh,
tomorrow.
did you?
Gosh, I don't know what
See
I
you
do.
tomorrow.
Bye.